Alright everyone out there in Banjo Land, Mike Heading here, coming back to you this week with another banjo lick breakdown lesson. We're going to work on the classic J.D. Crowe lick from Honey You Don't Know My Mind. It's that classic great D lick that can be used in a ton of songs. He originally did it in Honey You Don't Know My Mind, but I'll show you how to use it in a bunch of other songs where you can use it in 9-Pound Hammer, Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms, stuff like that. It's basically a 2-measure D lick, and then you can go back to a G. And I'm going to break down the lick, show you a bunch of spots you can use it, and then show you how to play it a couple different spots on the neck as well, so you can work on your ear training. Alright, here's banjo lick breakdown lesson. Alright, let's start breaking down this J.D. Crowe lick for banjo. So let me play the lick first, and then I'll show you how to get into the lick and a few songs that you can use it in. So it's on the 4th string over a D chord, and it's going to sound like this. Let's do that a few times. One time real slow. So you might have done a lick similar to this over a G chord, so over your 1 chord on the 3rd string, something like. So we're basically doing that same idea now, just doing it down on the 4th string, the D string, and now we're using it over a D chord. And the trickiest thing I think about this lick is that you have to move your thumb and sometimes your index finger down to the 4th string. So first thing you could practice is just the right hand, just playing your thumb and index finger on the 4th string. And I think sometimes J.D. Crowe would actually double thumb, like on licks like. So he'd actually use his thumb over and over again there. But for me, that doesn't feel quite as easy and natural. I like using my thumb and index finger for those. So you can try it both ways and see what you like, but I like using my thumb and index personally. I think it's just a little bit easier. It also more mimics the lick I've already practiced up here. Idea. So first thing to do would just be, again, get used to playing down on that low string. You need your thumb to be out front enough that your fingers aren't running into each other. And then the second thing I'd practice is just getting some power out of these 2 to 3 hammer-ons on the 4th string, which takes a little bit of practice, so you could just practice those on their own. So I'm doing a 2-3 hammer-on, and then a 3-2 open pull-off, so getting 3 notes. And that's where I'm doing thumb index with my right hand. But you could also do thumb, like I said. So we're going hammer on twice, and then that pull-off, and then 2 more notes, 2 open. And then we're going up to the 3rd string and basically doing a similar lick. And there's lots of ways you can end that little lick. Or you could do, so there's lots of ways you can get into this lick, and I'll show you a couple of variations. But the essence is a 2-3 hammer-on the 4th string, and then a couple hammer-ons on the 3rd string. The other thing to note is that in the original song where this lick happened, in Honey You Don't Know My Mind, they were actually playing 2 measures of D. So that first lick works over the D chord, and then he's also playing this lick over a D chord, which normally would be like a G lick. That's normally played over a G chord, but it's interesting that J.D. Crowe used that over a D chord. So now we have 2 options. We could play that on a song that has 2 measures of D. So you could do it something like Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms. So you play up to the C chord. So that's over 2 measures of D. So like in Rolling My Sweet Baby's Arms, Lay round the shack till the mail train comes back, and I'm rolling in my sweet baby's arms. So that'd be. Something like that. You could also do it in a song like 9 Pound Hammer, where it has one measure of D, and then one measure of G. So you can play the same lick. Again, it's a lick, right? So you're not usually going to find a melody that does that. So you're going to kind of crowbar that lick in, and that's kind of, you know, one of the things that's so cool about playing a lick is it doesn't have to be note for note melody. You're basically creating a little variation on the melody there. So let me show you again how to get into that lick coming from a C chord, because that's very common. So I might do something like, and then so I did a forward reverse roll on my C chord. And then right here, really important, I'm gonna play 2 open. So that's kind of how I get into that lick. It also gives me time to move my hand. So that's a great way to get into that lick. Coming from a C chord. The other way you might do it is coming from a G chord. So that little Scruggs fill lick would work great, or this lick, which is the Scruggs fill lick without the slide. So I always use that 2 open to set up the lick. So even if I do my Scruggs fill lick, here. You know, so you can get into it from a C chord or a G chord. So that gives you 2 options on how to get into that lick. The other thing is you can kind of experiment with the timing, or whether you're doing hammer-ons or slides or pull-offs. You know, another way you might do it is like a slide. So I'll slide in that time. Or you could do like more pull-offs. You know, again, just kind of experiment with that idea and see what you can come up with. You know, maybe something like that. Kind of see what you can come up with, really. Again, that's part of experimenting and having fun with a lick, is seeing what variations you can come up with. So I'm just playing with that idea. I'm keeping the timing of the lick the same. It's still a 1 measure or 2 measure lick. You know, I'm just kind of playing with that idea. You could do slides, like I said, or hammer-ons, or again, play it as written. Another cool lick you can do at the end. That'd be like over the second half of the D chords you do. So that'd be how I'd practice that lick. Is, you know, one thing you could do is just do like your Scruggs fill lick. Basically just looping that lick and just getting it under my fingers. So I do the Scruggs fill lick, lick, fill lick. Scrubs fill lick. So I'm just creating a little loop for myself that I can just keep practicing that lick and hear how it fits in with the timing. The other thing you can do, again, if you're having trouble with the lick, take out the left hand for a second and just do the right hand. And then add the left hand back. Okay, so that's how you play that lick in a lower register, which is how J.D. Crowe normally did that. And again, try it from some different positions. Again, anytime you're learning a new lick, you have to kind of what I call crowbar it into a song. It's not going to always work the first time. I am a big believer in when you learn a new lick, try it everywhere. Play it on every song, you know. Figure out where it can fit in almost every song. And then once you get it down, you can scale it back and find those appropriate places to put it in. But you really have to try crowbarring a lick into a situation. Otherwise, it's very easy to know a lick, but you don't actually know where to play it in a real song. So again, take some time, just crowbar that lick in there. If it doesn't work perfectly, you'll figure it out and you'll know, okay, it doesn't work in that song, it does work in this song. But you really have to throw a lot of stuff at the wall when you first start learning a new lick. Otherwise, it's very easy, like I said, to know the lick, but you don't really have any practical application for the lick. And that's kind of wasted, you know, stuff that's, you basically have stuff that you have in your brain, but you don't have an application for it, so it's kind of like wasted knowledge. So you always want to have a real life song you can put your lick into. Lastly, the other thing I always do with any lick I'm learning is try and learn it in another register. So if you learn it in another octave or somewhere else on the neck, that's good for two reasons, or a bunch of reasons. One is it's going to help your ear training to hear that lick in a different octave. It's also going to help your fretboard knowledge of finding that same lick on a different set of strings or another spot on the neck. It's also going to give you another spot to play that lick if you're in a tough position. So one simple way is you could just take, we have our low D string, we have our high D string, right? So you could do, and then maybe you could come all the way up here. Something like that. It doesn't always have to be note for note too, so I could play it down here to start. And then maybe I go back into the other part. So again, you just want to practice finding those licks. And then that note for note would be. So it's just really good ear training of how fast can you find that lick. And like I said, it doesn't have to be note for note. I'm changing the fingerings. You know, I'm not using my same thumb and index when I do it, so that's good practice as well. You got to figure out how to make your right hand work out. So that'd be one spot you could do it. Again, take that lick. So maybe I try playing up to that now. So I do something like. Try again, crowbar it in there and see how it fits in. See how you got to make the right hand work out to make the lick work. And even if I don't always use the lick in kind of real life banjo playing, it's really good ear training to just be able to know how to do it, be able to find those licks quickly. Just going to help you learn the fretboard of where to play those licks. You know, and again, you're building your ear training and your knowledge of the fretboard, which is really important. All right, so that's that classic J.D. Crowe lick that he used in Honey, You Don't Know My Mind. Take this lick and throw it into all your favorite songs. It's a great one to know. All right, hope that helps you out. All right, good luck.